Hey guys, this is MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video, and I'm going to just say this. We're definitely experiencing a rise in the golden era of JRPGs, more specifically back in the 90s, especially in the PS1 era, where RPG was at its greatness, it was at its finest, especially JRPGs. And lately we've been seeing the trend of some of our favorite Japanese developers coming back with their own independent studios, creating Kickstarters to bring back some franchises that we haven't seen in a very long time, and bringing them back in the form of spiritual successors. Perfect example, in the last video we talked about that the creator of Wild Arms has made a return with their own studio and have pretty much created a spiritual successor called Armed Fantasia, which really looks stunning. It looks beautiful, and I'm definitely going to look into the Kickstarter and give them a hand, and I pray that it ends up being successful. And if you guys haven't checked out the video, definitely check it out, and if it's something that you want to support, definitely support it. But there's also another Kickstarter that was successful from another legendary Japanese developer who created a franchise called Suikoden. And this Kickstarter was definitely successful with their spiritual successor called Eiyuden Chronicles, and I have yet to cover it here on this channel. And it's been about a year, and the reason why I haven't covered it because it's only a teaser. Not much was shown or talked about when it came to this, but it was pretty much a success. Everybody's looking forward to it, and now fast forward a year into the future, they finally officially put out a full-blown trailer to show off what the game is actually going to be about. And I can tell you one thing for sure, it's definitely a spiritual successor to the Suikoden series. So we're going to dive right into it. I want to give you my overall thoughts and my opinions about this, because I am a big fan of the Suikoden series, because at the time Konami was the ones that created the Suikoden series, and Konami was pretty much a giant when it came to game development at the time. Very legendary studio, but since then they have pretty much turned their backs on game development and been pretty much focusing on pachinko machines, which is very sad. And a lot of game developers had suffered from that at their studio, and a lot of them have left and started their own, and that's good that we see that, because as far as gaming is concerned, gaming has pretty much been focusing more on the Western market. A lot of Japanese developers have been pretty much abandoning their Japanese roots when it comes to game development and game design, and focusing more on the Western market, and that's been a sad thing. Those of us who enjoy JRPGs and a lot of Japanese developed games haven't been getting what we pretty much wanted, and here it is. Eiyuden Chronicles is something that I will indeed give my time and give all my investment to when the game launches in 2023. Now, Eiyuden Chronicles is called Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes, which signifies similarities to the Suikoden series. Now, if you'll know the Suikoden series essentially focuses on a young youth protagonist who pretty much rally against their oppressor, or rally against an empire that's trying to take over their country. And normally that this youth will get together with a band of friends, or a person who already has somewhat of a rebel army, and become eventually the leader of that army. And essentially what happens is you collect over 100 different characters that have their own uniqueness, plots, and all kinds of different interests, and even relationships and connections with other characters that you have recruited in your party. Eventually you put together your own base and to fight against this empire that's trying to take over your land. And it seems as though that this may be the case with Eiyuden Chronicles, just by looking at the title itself, 100 Heroes. Now, that's what made Eiyuden Chronicles and just made Suikoden pretty much different for its time. And it was in fact one of the first JRPGs that I actually really played on the PS1 of that time, and that was the one that really got me into the genre altogether. It was much more intricate of the time, especially me being a kid and actually playing these type of genres of games, and it really got me invested into the genre altogether. So it seemed like this trend was continue here with Eiyuden Chronicles, and it's good to see that people who never played Suikoden will have a chance to actually try it out with Eiyuden Chronicles. And it's good to see that we get a chance to have other people who never experienced it before get a chance to experience a gem, or experience a game that I had the chance to love as a kid, and now you guys get a chance to actually play it yourself with Eiyuden Chronicles as a spiritual successor of the Suikoden series. Now, when it came to the combat was something that I always loved, because instead of having your 3-man team or 4-man team, you always had a party of 6 that comprised of the front row and the back row. And depending on what character you have, some characters can only function well, can only attack if they're in the back, or only attack if they're in the front. And that's where the positioning of your characters always come into focus. And what I loved about it most is, as you collected many different characters, certain characters have relationships. Some may be brothers and sisters, some may be lovers, some may be husband and wife, some may be a teacher or student with one another. And if you put those characters in the same team together, they will have their own exclusive special team up attack. Sometimes 3 characters have a relation with each other where they have a triple team attack. So you always have to think about, before going into battle, what units you want to put together. And also, when it came to Suikoden, it also had a strategy simulator to it as well, where you actually had an army, and each character that you recruited of the 100 had their own units, what also made the combat unique in its own. And when you look at Eiyuden Chronicles at the very tail end of the trailer, you see a 1v1 situation that's going on, which harpens back to Suikoden, where there's also a 1v1 aspect of the game where it determines the fate of set particular characters. And it also affected and impacted the story in different ways, because if certain characters died during these combat sequences or during these strategy sequences, it also impacted the interactions that your characters would have later on in the story. And by the time you make it to the end of the game, it also changes the relationship that you have with characters. So hopefully we definitely see that trend going on here with Eiyuden Chronicles. This is something that I can't wait for, man. And I'm glad to see that a lot of Japanese developers are starting to shape their own destiny and take their destiny, in their own hands, to be able to create the RPG experience that they want, since a lot of these Japanese developers have pretty much turned their back on a lot of their games, more specifically a lot of these JRPGs that I have grown to love. So it's good to see that they're starting their own indie studios, especially this studio called Rabbit and Bear Studios for Eiyuden Chronicles. Good to see that, and hopefully we'll see more sometime in the near future. But I'm definitely looking forward to the 2023 release of Eiyuden Chronicles. So that pretty much wraps up this video. Definitely hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this new game, the Spiritual Successors to Suikoden? Have you ever played Suikoden before? If so, which one was your favorite, since there was about like 5 to 6 of them? Definitely like to hear your thoughts on that. And if you're new to the series, are you looking forward to it? And definitely leave that in the comment section below. So if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also hit that bell to be notified for more JRPG news in the near future. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.